Peace and power, family. This is Ayadria, and today we'll be discussing how to help someone who is in an unapproved relationship with a troglodyte or with any bad relationship or in any bad relationship for that matter. The reason why I'm making this post is because of what I see on my wall. Okay? And the reason why I'm saying something about it is because sadness and anger and things that make you upset are all lower vibrational frequencies, and we want to keep the vibrational frequencies high. So I'm saying something about it, and also I want to give you just a little bit of insight about myself. I am a what are you going to do about it type of girl. So when I see any complaint or any sadness or any rant or rave, in my mind I'm thinking, what are you going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? What can we do about it? And since I'm a what are you going to do about it type of girl, I stopped following preachers and so-called leaders who always make good speeches about injustices and inequalities and disenfranchisement, that type of stuff. And the reason why I stopped following these leaders is because I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, what are you going to do about it? What can we do about it? I am an all-action type of girl. Let's solve this problem. Let's do better. So that's what type of woman I am, goddess I am, and that's what we're going to do here today. Now, I totally understand the struggle of seeing your brother or your sister in an unapproved troglodyte relationship or any bad relationship or making any bad decisions or choices or even in pain. I understand that struggle. And one of the ways you could be of good service to your brother or sister is be a good example of a great man. Or you could talk to your brother or sister about the facts, and we're going to discuss the facts in just a moment. But before we discuss the facts, you must understand that there are some of us with underlying psychological issues and emotional pain. Okay, and this has been brought to us through the troglodyte and capitalism, because capitalism has a poor population. In our ancient ancestral societies and communities, we didn't have a poor population, okay? But capitalism does. We had a community where all were abundant because we lived in abundance and in our purpose. So we had the men actively providing for the families and for their family and the families of the village. Okay, actively. There was no poor population, so this causes a rift in any type of male-female relationship if you have a poor population and you are in it. Okay, so we had no poor population, and also television programs have actually caused a rift as well, because it has programmed some of our most vulnerable men into having many women and to being irresponsible. Okay, and also television's programs are meant to be irresponsible with their phallus and the life force within it and the seed within. They don't protect that as they should, and that's something vital to your offspring. That's your offspring. So it's the future of the world, and you're not protecting it. That's a huge problem. So television and capitalism, which has a poor population, are all direct causes of the breakup of the nuclear family. And why did they call that nuclear family? The reason why they call that nuclear family, the nuclear in nuclear family is nucleus. It relates to nucleus. And nucleus is necessary for heredity and for making protein, which is in our DNA. which is what our DNA is made out of, and it also contains chromosomes with their genes. Okay, so a nucleus family is a monogamous family that reproduces children. That's a nucleus family, and it's called nuclear family because it is one of our sciences. That's one of our sciences revealed, the nuclear family. So understand that this science can only be done successfully with one other person. Here is the math of sacred sex. Please understand the math. Please understand that math. And also, by the way, I am changing the name of my Sacred Sex course to the Math and Geometry of Sacred Sex, Uncovered Ancient Ancestral Knowledge of Sex. Why? The reason why I'm changing the name is because folks seem to think that they could get my course at their local library or bookstore. You cannot get my course, you cannot get my ancestral knowledge from your local library or bookstore. The math and geometry of sacred sex comes directly from the ancestors and the source of creation. Okay, so it cannot be found in someone's book unless it's my book. So you can't Google and do a Google search to get this information. Okay, it comes directly from the source. So let's get back into the facts. Okay, if you are having a problem seeing your brother or sister going downhill because they're in a relationship unsuitable for them, or are in a sexual relationship or oral relationship with a troglodyte, just give them the facts, okay? One of the gods showed us that the troglodyte have sex with animals, okay? So, and they call it bestiality. But the thing that bothers me is they spelled the first four letters best, B-E-S-T. That's disgusting to me. It's like, that's strange. Why don't you spell it B-E-A-S-T? Whatever. And then another god told us last year that the male troglodyte sperm is literally a parasite, and that sisters can't get impregnated naturally with its parasite sperm without being given a shot that causes the immune system to shut down. Okay, because what our immune system does, because it is a parasite and a foreign object, it then kills it like a disease. It kills it, and so then she miscarriages. So she has to shut down her whole immune system and leave herself in danger of being killed or dying from a disease just to have a troglodyte's baby. So these are all very important things to know. And, the reason why I don't mention the names of the gods is because of science. Okay, so none of these gods have goddesses. Okay, and so we all know one of our sciences reveals that the goddess protects the god, or in chess, the queen protects the king, and she protects them from psychological warfare and indecent proposals. Okay, so I learned also, after mentioning a couple of names in a video and in one of my pictures, that the people that I mentioned later became deceased. Now I want to mention that if you have a bunch of women, okay, because I know some people are going to say this, but if you have a bunch of women in agreement to share a man, okay, that is not our science, but rather a Goldie the Pimp type of situation that the troglodyte gave us in a movie, okay? The troglodyte brought that to you. That type of situation is merely exploitation of the woman in her womb, okay? When a woman agrees to share her body and her womb with a man and another woman in like a homosexual fashion, because that's what happens when you swap DNA, and DNA can be found in the saliva during a kiss and semen during reproduction. So when she does that, when she makes that agreement to share the man, she then in essence is selling her body and her ovaries for help, for food, for shelter, for protection, and for money. Okay, so that is exploitation. Okay, exploitation. So also, I want to mention regarding that, due to the biological function of the clitoris and the vagina, and the sexual urges that it has, a lot of our ancestors were getting their head chopped off. And the reason why they were getting their hair chopped off is because they were in these types of agreements, not understanding how their biological reproduction system works. Also, it is very natural for a woman to want to leave a man if he is not emotionally providing for her, and another attractive man wants to be that emotional provider for her. So if a woman is in this situation and there is an attractive man that wants to give her better, she naturally will leave, because a woman orgasm depends upon how the man is treating her emotionally. She is an emotional creature, emotional being, and so she orgasms based upon the affection and adoration and all the good things that the man has done. So if you are spreading yourself around to someone and someone else comes in, she naturally wants to go with the better man. And I knew a 15-year-old, when we were 15, I knew a girl who was accidentally in a relationship with a 23-year-old. But the thing is, she was mature. He thought she was her age, and she thought he was like 17. And she was very mature for her age, but he wasn't. He was college educated, had his own apartment, car, everything. He was also a father, too. But he played video games, and they didn't have good conversation. He was very immature over the phone and everything, and she was very unhappy. So one day when she went to a party, a real 17-year-old literally swept her off her feet, literally. And they had a great conversation. He did ask her whether or not she had a boyfriend. She said yes, but she was unhappy. So he continued to just being a good mentor. They became friends. He walked 20 blocks to see her in the wintertime. In the wintertime, 20 blocks, that is so far away. But he would walk 20 blocks to see her in the wintertime, in the cold, and stand at her window, not even inside. So he would be like cold the whole time, standing at her window. But she ended up stopped taking the phone calls because I think she wasn't able to break up with him. So she stopped taking his phone calls and went with the better guy. That's natural. Okay? It's natural for a woman to want better. So getting back to what I was talking about. So because of the nature of a woman to want better, a lot of our ancestors were getting their heads chopped off. But as the man, so is the woman. See, the woman learned to be a cheater from the man. she learned to be a cheater. So what she did was, when she found someone better, she went with someone better, of course. And the sexual urges were there, and the attraction was there. So of course she's naturally going to go with the better man. But the thing is, she got her head chopped off, whereas he didn't, because he was a man. Real kings know that they can only serve one queen. Okay, as above, so below. We must understand that God is a jealous God, and so is Goddess. Because Goddess mirrors God. Okay, we attract who we are. So, if you have a bunch of women in agreement, what do you have? You definitely don't have a goddess. So the protection is not there. The psychological protection and the indecent proposal, protection against indecent proposal is just not there. So she will not lend for you protection against the troglodyte who knows you are outside of divine law with the multiple women. They know that you are outside divine law. So what they do is they go ahead and they take that, the fact that you are outside of divine law, and they annihilate you. So that's why I don't mention names of gods for fear of them falling. Okay. Back to the facts. If you or someone you know is dating a troglodyte, the fact is there is a high risk of that person having sex with the dog or the horse. And if you get impregnated, if you're a woman, if you get impregnated by a troglodyte, you are at a higher risk of death because you're shutting down your whole immune system. And your immune system, what does that do? That fights disease for you. Another fact we want to get into is that the troglodyte is fascinated with feces. And before, another brother had made a post about them being fascinated about feces and eating feces. I actually work with someone who wanted me to see a video. It was called Two Girls in a Cup. And what that video was about was a young troglodyte female holding a cup under another troglodyte anus and waiting for her to finish defecating. When she finished defecating, both of them ate the feces like an ice cream cone. It was disgusting. So that's another thing you have to worry about, is that recessive gene that wants to eat feces. You could take the troglodyte out of the cave, but you can't take the cave out of the troglodyte. So that's a very sick fact to know. I also want to mention that if you eat packaged food, the FDA did approve years ago rat feces and a small amount of rat feces in the spaghetti sauce and raisins. So that's how serious it is. Back to the facts, okay? Because the fact of the matter is, one of the facts of the matter is that we all date or marry according to our self-esteem. Okay? So if you see someone dating or married to someone who you have deemed beneath them, that is a mirror of how they see themselves, okay? And also, they may have emotional pain or have been psychologically bruised during the psychological warfare that the troglodyte has waged against us years ago. So, don't be upset or beaten by someone's bad decision. Just be aware, know the facts, share it, and be a good example, okay? Also, if you find someone that is serious about getting help with anything that they are struggling with, as far as building a positive male-female relationship or any type of struggle, they can set up an appointment with me to receive counseling at copperaverageness.org. Meanwhile, I leave you in peace, my dear family, and power.